Wow. This has been a crazy year. Back in January or February, I started getting a master's degree, and I that's kind of a normal thing that people do, especially when you're a teacher. Teachers get master's degrees so they can improve their teaching ability. They get master's degrees to get paid more. Lots of good reasons to get master's degrees as a teacher, trying to be a lifelong learner. Also, I feel like it helps me to relate to my students by being like, hey, I'm in school, I'm doing homework, you can do your homework. And so it's a great thing. But I, right, like at the end of 2024, I applied for a master's degree in technology enhanced learning. I thought, wow, this is a field that I'm really interested in. I feel like this will really appeal to the people looking over my resume. Lots of schools here in Hong Kong, and I imagine throughout the world, are interested in using technology to better teach the students. And so I thought, okay, this is the field that I'm most interested in. And then I feel like my teaching certificate that I got last year really taught me a lot about how to teach. I learned so much about how to manage the classroom, and I learned a lot about teaching philosophy, became an expert at writing lesson plans. And since I didn't have an education bachelor's degree, I felt like getting a master's degree in education would also be really good. And so I applied to my technology enhanced learning master's degree, and my school that I got my teaching certificate, the postgraduate certificate in education from, they were like, hey, just stick around a little longer and you can have a master's in education. And I felt like, wow, these are both part-time programs. I could, if I get it, I'll apply to both, see what happens. And then the crazy part of me was like, hey, you could do both. You used to be a full-time online student, getting your postgraduate certificate in education. You used to be a full-time online student when you got your bachelor's degree. You could do two, not four, two master's degrees at the same time, and you could just rock that world of education. And so I bit the bullet, talked to my wife. I got admitted to both schools, talked to my wife about it. That was the biggest part of like, honey, I'm scared. Got to save more money. School's expensive. But fortunately, I go to school in the UK. It's not as expensive as many other places. The US is insanely expensive. So I'm very blessed that when I got my bachelor's degree, it was at a online in the UK. And so that's kind of naturally led into the postgraduate certificate and the master's that I'm now getting, also being lower cost because they're from UK universities. And so this year has just been super crazy doing all these things. And then to top it all off, I found out near the end of last school year that the requirements for being a native speaking English teacher in Hong Kong were increasing. And so I was like, oh, I need a degree in English. I don't have any kind of degree in English, and that's one of the new requirements. So I felt like, okay, I need to get a third master's. And so I didn't think I would do them all at the same time, but I talked to my wife about the situation, and she's like, you can do it. Just crank it out. You're already doing 2 masters. Why don't you do 3? And I don't know, like, she's supposed to be the sane person in my family. I'm the one with bipolar. I'm the one that's supposed to say ridiculous things, and she's supposed to put the kibosh on it for me, but for some reason that got a thumbs up. And so now I'm doing 3 masters. So I had a pretty peaceful summer. Needed to work on 1 master's only, had the rest. Was very chill. And then turned out that that was all a lie, because during the summer I should have been studying for my thesis, but I didn't know that things were going to turn sour with my thesis, and my original proposal, which I had already done a lot of research for my technology enhanced learning masters. I wasn't able to do that thesis because I didn't have any students that could make the vlogs. I was planning on doing a vlogging as a way to learn English thesis, and that didn't work out. And so then I was like, hey, I like AI. Everybody likes AI. AI is super popular. Why don't I do my thesis related to AI? And then I am now drowning in AI research. So it's crazy, lots to do. And the English masters, they actually like want me to take tests and do hard stuff. So I'm like drowning in Anki flashcards. And so I might make it, might not. We'll see how it all goes. I think I'm plowing through it. But then, at the beginning of the year also, I decided I'm going to read a little bit more than my average for the year. And so over the last 10 years, I calculated from Goodreads that I had read about 30 books, on average 30 books a year. Some years 16, 17 only, some years 60. And, most of these books are just not actually reading with my eyes, more listening with my ears, and, listening to audiobooks. So I just kind of went through, and I was reading and reading and reading. And pretty quickly I got to my 36. And I had been keeping track of how many books I had been reading per day. And I was like, oh, I'm not too far under being able to read 100 books this year. And so I didn't change my Goodreads goal, but I decided that will be my new thing. And it became a thing, and I did, it's only November right now, and I did listen to / read. I read several books, ebooks, but mainly listened to audiobooks. And then I'll make a video about this at the end of the year. That'll probably be my next video, about the 100. I've read over 100 books this year. So, what I really feel like is the amazing thing is that I went from being a depressed college dropout to that just addicted to watching television all the time, to a person that is taking 3 master's degrees and read over 100 books, and really learning has become so amazing to me. And I know that part of it is just because I am addicted to productivity stuff. So, big shout out to Ali Abdaal. There's so many times where I've been doing a Pomodoro, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch an Ali Abdaal video to get me pumped up. And then a couple minutes into it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to just go back to work. And that's really up my productivity. Reading the book Atomic Habits has really been amazing. I feel like, there was a long period where I was just trying to tread water, that I was so depressed that I didn't want to get out of bed, or where I'd want to hide under the covers. If I had gotten out of bed during the day, that I was just, wanting to fall asleep. And so being medicated has helped a lot, but through having to overcome those obstacles of learning how to be productive with the deck stacked against you has really helped me to be more productive now. And then, I started off small by getting one bachelor's degree, and that went really well. I got first class in my bachelor's degree, and then, I passed my CELTA. I would have liked to get first class in that, but I didn't really know that was a thing, and so I kind of just put in all the work. Didn't really think to excel in that. I should have made a better effort. And then I tried getting first class in my PGCE, even though they don't give you distinction or first class ranking. I passed, so that was great. But it's really built up these working muscles, and the ability to do hard things and to overcome hard things has been progressively growing. So if you're out there thinking about your future and wanting to improve yourself, I highly recommend just getting into the flow of learning the productivity hacks. And they're not all going to be perfect, or they're not all going to be exactly what you need. And I know a lot of them are manifesting, or a lot of it is just grind culture where you're 24/7. Fortunately, there's been a lot of pushback against the grind, though I find sometimes I just need to grind. That's really what I have to do that day to get to get what I need to get done. So I don't feel like it should be all against grinding. Sometimes you need to grind. I haven't been good on my diet and exercise recently, but I know when I go out there and walk for 2 hours, it is hell. And kind of the only thing that gets me through it is watching a productivity video that's saying, you can do hard things, you can overcome. The only way to overcome is by doing the hardest things. And so that, has a place. And I think, you just kind of figure out what's going to help you get things done. I remember I really liked the book Getting Things Done, and I started implementing that. And then I was like, man, I don't really have too much benefit from these folders. A lot of the benefit I can just get from inputting my family's birthdays in the calendar. And part of that helps is my wife. She keeps a track of a lot of the things that we need to remember. So if there was more, I was in the situation where I needed to that might help. But I just find the tools that help me, and I go back to the old principles, and I'll read a lot of the same books that I've already read, or listen to the same audio programs or audiobooks, and really it helps. And so I feel like that's kind of just the amazing thing about this year, that I've gone from being a person that dropped out of college twice to being a person that is functionally managing 3 master's degrees at one time. And I know that hard work often sucks, but the more muscle you build for doing the hard work, the more you can get things done. And so now, really, I feel like what I want to accomplish, I don't know why the light's so weird. What I want to accomplish is that I want to get physically in shape. And so hopefully I can spend the time getting in shape and doing things that will help me to be more healthy. But yeah, it's kind of hard when you're drowning in work and school. But I guess that's just gotta grind. Or not. Gotta kind of be happy where I'm at, I think also is a big thing. And so I'll leave it to you, my imaginary friends. I don't know if I'll get many views, but love having you to talk to. Talk to you later. Bye.